All right, let's get started. We are back with another hardcore Let's Play. It is only 2 days until Season 1 goes live for Diablo 4. And before we jump into the game tonight, we're going to go through some of the malignant aspects that Diablo and Blizzard have posted on their website. To just kind of see what is going to be coming in the future. I'll have a link to this posted in the description down below if you are watching this on YouTube. For everybody watching here along on Twitch, welcome. Welcome to you, Cosm. Thank you for joining us. I will also have a link to the patch notes for Season 1 that have gone live right now that we're going to be kind of testing out during our Let's Play tonight after we finish reading through some of these malignant aspects, these malignant hearts, of which there are 32. So we're going to try to go through these relatively quickly, kind of take a look at what catches my eye and see what's there. If you haven't read through the patch notes already for Season 1, it looks like there are quite a lot of buffs to the less used skills of each class. There's also quite a few kind of big nerfs as well. Big highlights for that are pretty big nerf to experience gained from monsters kind of across the board, but specifically in dungeons. They've tried to nerf boosting of lower level characters. And then it looked like most classes ended up getting nerfs to their cooldown skills, which is kind of interesting that they're trying to increase cooldowns across the board. So there's a lot of comments going around right now on YouTube that the game has basically been nerfed to the ground and Blizzard has kind of killed their game. I'm not really sure. We'll have to see how it plays, kind of how the game feels. And we're going to be refining most of our focus specifically to the rogue class right now. So let's go ahead and jump in here. So there are 32 malignant hearts, which you'll be able to find in Season 1. They are broken out by class. The stats you see reflect what a level 20 character would receive as a drop. And as your character grows in level, so too will the hearts. So go through these relatively quickly if we can here. All right, the Picana, Vicious Offensive, so this is an offensive one. Crit strikes, electrically charge an enemy for 0.75 to 2.5 seconds. Cause electric arc between them, another charge. So we got a lightning one, that's kind of cool. Let's see, Dark Dance. Every 5 seconds, level above 60%. Life, core skills cost life instead of your primary resource. Skills that consume life deal 10 to 20% increased damage. That's interesting. Trying to think of skills that consume life on different characters. I can't think of a lot of them, to be honest. It's going to be very niche. Fairly risky as well for hardcore play. Oh, let's see. Tempting Fate. 46% critical strike damage, but your non-crit strikes deal 20 to 15% less damage. This would be a good one as long as you can make sure you boost your crit strike chance. So if you've got really high crit strike chance, that probably would be definitely worth going. 40 to 6% damage increases quite a lot. You can see a lot of variance in that build, though. Kind of make the gameplay a little bit less smooth. You get these huge spikes in damage and then not really doing all that much. But, you know, 50% less damage is not that much less. So you gain 10% barrier generation. Heal for 3 to 7 life per second while you have an active barrier. Okay. That could be good when paired with some other aspects, especially on hardcore for sure. Incoming damage is suppressed. When you use a defensive subterfuge or macabre skill, all suppressed damage is amplified 250 and explodes. Okay, that's kind of cool. Again, we're going to have variance in our damage. That might be worth kind of playing. World Tier 3. I wonder what that means. Maybe some of these you can only find in different world tiers. Determination. Resource draining effects are 40-50% less effective. In addition, you gain 3 to 8% increased resource generation. So the 3 to 8% resource generation is probably going to be pretty good across the board if you're struggling with resource generation for whatever your build is. I can definitely see this being a factor at the beginning of a playthrough when you still haven't got all your skills up there. If you happen to have this, that'd be cool. The 40-50% less effective resource drain would be good in very specific Nightmare dungeons. But there aren't a lot of enemies that really provide that effect to you that I can think of right now. In fact, I can't think of any enemy that does resource drain, just the one nightmare affix for nightmare dungeons. Let's see. Retaliation. Deal fire damage. Surrounding enemies whenever a crowd controlling effect is removed from you. Okay. Yeah. After spending 150, 200 of your primary resource, your next attack stuns enemies for 2 seconds. That might be good if you're trying to stack into like a full stagger. Might be good against bosses. 150 to 200 is a lot, though, depending on your build. See, the Malignant Pack. Cycle through a Malignant bonus every 20 seconds. So a lot of variance here. 20% attack speed. Nice. Core and basic skills have a 15% chance to fully restore your primary resource. Ooh, 15% is not bad. That's kind of cool. And then Brutal over 21 seconds, gain a barrier absorbing X damage. That one would be fun. Not sure how good it's going to be, but it would be fun. Your damage over time effects are increased by 30 to 40% for each different crowd control effect on a target. Unstoppable monsters and stagger bosses instead take 110 to 130 increased damage from your damage over time effects. Unstoppable monsters. So once you crowd control a monster enough, it will become unstoppable, but I don't see a lot of monsters proccing that unstoppable state very often in the game. I can't see this one being crazy useful. Let's see. The Barber crit strikes and all subsequent damage within a 2 to 4 second window is absorbed by your target. Then the absorbed damage erupts onto surrounding enemies. Stored damage is increased by 10% per second. It's kind of weird. I don't think I would like that. See how much damage it does to surrounding enemies, I guess. I mean, you're delaying. You just have like these weird burst windows. I don't know if I like that much. Let's see. Barbarian. Spending Fury increases your damage by 20 to 30% for your next non-basic skill crit strike chance. Oh, not damage. You're just crit strike chance. That's pretty good. Resurgent, while below 46%, you receive 50 to 60% healing from all sources. Probably good for Barbarian. I don't know if they have any shouts that can heal themselves. I'm not super savvy on Barbarian. Let's see. Punishing Speed. 20-30% chance to knock down all enemies. That's nice. Incoming damage has a 5 to 15% chance of being ignored and instead healing you. Okay, so these might pair well together. Let's see. The Moon Rage for Druid. Kills have a 5% chance to summon a wolf companion to your side. In addition, gain +3 to wolves. That's cool. I wonder if you have to have wolves as a skill. Doesn't seem like you do. That'd be pretty neat. Druid seemed to have got a pretty good amount of buffs in the patch notes. 8 to 13. When 8 to 13 close enemies automatically cast Cyclone Armor. Okay, so we can remove that skill then, I guess. Up to 30 to 50 distant enemies are pulled towards you while you have an ultimate skill active. Okay, so they're providing some control there, and that's nice. When you're with the stun, freeze, or knockdown effect, there's a 40 to 60% chance to automatically activate Grizzly Rage for 3 seconds. So, like, all of these Druid ones, like, basically allow, it looks to me, like, allow you to remove a skill from your bar. It's kind of interesting. Necromancer. Walking near a corpse automatically activates an equipped corpse skill every second. Okay. Dealing less damage, though. Interesting. So you still have to have it equipped, but you just don't cast it. And now you don't get to choose what you cast. Doesn't sound very good to me. When at least 5 enemies are near you, get an aura. I mean, I guess this doesn't take essence. That's kind of the thing there. So when at least 5 enemies are near you, get an aura that automatically curses surrounding enemies with Decrepify for 5 to 15 seconds. Okay. Again, lose a skill from our bar, it looks like. Up to 10 to 20% chance of inflicting fear for 2.5 seconds. Feared enemies are chilled for 20% every second. That's a good one. Each minion drains 1 to 2 essence per second, but deals 50 to 75% increased damage. With no minions, this bonus applies to you and drains 5 essence per second. Okay, so buff to minions, that's good. Order yourself. 5 essence per second is a lot. 50 to 75% increased damage. This would be late game, and you can see it's a world tier 4 one. For sure a late game one once you've kind of solved your essence problems. All right, Rogue, here we go. Cluster munitions. We like never use this. I hardly see any builds with it. You have up to a 20% chance to launch 3 stun grenades that deal 26 to 32% physical damage and stun enemies for 0.5 seconds. So gaining a skill, we don't have to have it on our bar. Stun grenades can be actually pretty good depending on what your build is. I've seen some pretty good control and high poison damage builds. The one I'm thinking of is the Uber Lilith cheese build, where you basically stun Lilith pretty heavily in phase 2, and she like doesn't do any attacks at all. So that'd be nice. Let's see, trickery. When you use a subterfuge skill, leave behind an unstable shadow decoy trap that taunts enemies. The shadow decoy trap will explode after 0.6 seconds, dealing 680 to 1020 shadow damage. Cannot occur more than once every 5 seconds. That's cool. I like that. Shadow decoy trap. I wonder if that gets buffed by your trap skill passives. Like trap mastery or the mastery passive. Mini tank, yeah. Let's see, the clip shot, lucky hit up to a 20 to 40% chance for your cutthroat skills to slow by 40% for 3 seconds, and your marksman skills to knock back enemies. So almost a 50% chance on lucky hit to slow enemies for 3 seconds with cutthroat skills. So that'd be twisting blades. That'd be good. Doesn't feel like it's game or build changing, but that would be fun. The Vile Apothecary, World Tier 4. Your attacks have a 5 to 15% chance to apply all imbuement effects at 40 to 50% of normal potency. Interesting. That could be pretty fun. Low proc chance. A little bit lower damage, but I mean, 50% of normal potency. Those things are pretty strong already. That would be kind of cool. Even if you're not doing an imbuement build. That might be fun. Shadow, poison, and ice. Let's see. Sorcerer, Tal Rasha, Vicious Offensive. Let's see. For each unique element you deal damage with, you deal 7 to 12% increased damage for 3 to 10 seconds. Okay. After taking elemental damage, gain 20 to 40% resistance to that element for 5 seconds. Okay, that would be good. 20 to 40%. So here's my thing is we'll have to look in the patch notes. So I don't know if resistance has really got much of a buff or that armor got much of a nerf. So this is, I mean, it's free damage mitigation, but not exactly sure how effective it'll be. When you are afflicted with a crowd control effect, there is a 20 to 40% chance that the same enemy and enemies around you are also afflicted with the same effect for 3 seconds. That's nice. So that's basically, to me, is a survivability. So Sorks definitely need survivability. They are way, way, way too squishy right now. Last one, core skills that launch a projectile consume all of your mana. For every 45 to 35 extra mana consumed, you launch an additional projectile and the damage is increased by 35%. I'm not familiar with enough with the Sorks to know if that's good or not. It doesn't sound very good. Sounds like there might be high spikes in Dama there, but I don't know if that sounds all that great, to be honest. Let's see. And then it kind of goes into how seasonal characters work. We know that. We got to continue to explain why seasons are the way they are. Battle pass stuff. Okay. Let's take a look at the patch notes real quick. So these are active right now. We got 6 unique items. Spear of Lysander. Gain a random shrine effect for 10 to 20 seconds after killing an elite. That's kind of cool. Probably not going to use it. Barbarian, Azurath. Classic, nice. Lucky hit. Your core skills have a 20% chance to freeze enemies for 3 seconds. Yep, that's kind of what Azurath was like. That's cool. Druid Flesh Render, debilitating roar and blood howl, deal 0.5 to 1 damage to nearby poisoned enemies. Gotta be poison first. Not sure how good that is. Necromancer, Lidless Wall, classic. Lucky hit. While you have an active Bone Storm, hitting an enemy outside of a Bone Storm has a 5 to 25% chance to spawn an additional Bone Storm at their location. Each of your active sacrifice bonuses increases the damage. Sorry, the chance by 25%, the total number of additional Bone Storms you can have it by +1. That seems really good. That seems good. Rogue unique bow. Nobody uses bows. The unique bows we have now, I just sell because you get damage to distant enemies as the base stat for a bow. And I would much rather use a crossbow, which gives me vulnerable damage to vulnerable enemies. Penetrating shot has a 30 to 80% chance to fire an arrow that bounces off of walls and scenery. Hitting enemies from behind with penetrating shot will make them vulnerable for 3 seconds. I mean, you could do some cool, like, ricochet shots, like, around corners and stuff. It sounds cool. It's 30 to 80% chance to fire an arrow. Could, like, shoot into walls, go penetrate through them, hit the wall, go back into them. That's cool. I mean, it's like, it's nice to be able to set stuff up for, like, high skill, you know, moves like that. I'd like to see a lot more skills like this. I mean, that'd be just cool to have as a base skill rather than tie it to a bow. Because the bow I'm probably not gonna use. I mean, crit strike damage and vulnerable damage both got nerfed, but like they didn't. I don't think they changed the way it works though for vulnerable, which vulnerable needs to be nerfed. I think the easiest way to do it is probably just to make it additive instead of multiplicative. Throw it in the same damage bucket as crit strike chance, which really is now it's just crit strike chance though. So I don't know. I think we still have a problem with the base mechanics of Diablo 4 and how you deal damage. I don't know if they've addressed that by just lowering your crit strike damage and vulnerable damage. Let's see, you got some new legendary aspects. Audacity, when there are at least 5 close enemies, stun them for 2 to 4 seconds. This can only occur once every 20 seconds. That's good. That's a good one for hardcore. That'll increase survivability. You gain 24% increased movement speed when moving away from slowed or chilled enemies. That's interesting. That'd be really good for Sorks. Let's see. Barbarian, Ancestral Charge. Charge calls forth 4 Ancients who also charge, dealing 50 to 100% of roll damage. Okay. Druid, Subterranean, Poison Creepers active. Poison Creepers active also casts Landslide in a circle around you. Okay. Not really sure what that does. I don't know Druid very well. Necromancer, Gore Quills. Blood Lance will consume blood orbs to also conjure lances from them. Each additional blood lance deals 20-50% of normal damage and prioritizes targeting an unlanced enemies. That's good. I can see that being very strong. Blood Lance is already pretty righteous. Rogue, Pestilent Points. Every third cast of Puncture is poison imbued with 100 to 150% of normal potency. Probably, I would definitely use that aspect. I'm not sure what I would replace for some of my builds, but if I found that early, we'd throw that on there for sure. Then Sork Searing Wards. After spending a 200 to 100 mana, your next firewall is free to cast and will destroy incoming small missiles. Okay. It's probably not bad. I know that firewall is a pretty common skill in a lot of Sork builds. All right, we'll kind of go through some of these. Let's see. There are some bug fixes, co-op play fixes, dungeon stuff. These are specific dungeons. We'll try to kind of skip through here and hit the highlights for all of the patch notes. Face an issue where traps to deal more damage than intended. Okay. I've had that happen to me before, where you like almost die by a one shot from a trap on the ground. You're like, whoa. Let's see. Gameplay. Rogue, Shadow Step wouldn't trigger. These are all just like glitches that they're fixing, it looks like. I don't know if there are really a lot of nerfs in here from my first glance through here, so we're going to go through these pretty quickly. Let's see. Players could unnaturally teleport during boss encounters. I've had that happen before. Hopefully that's just gone entirely. I don't know if it was a boss encounter, though. I thought it was mainly during the intermissions of Nightmare or regular dungeons where everybody would sort of teleport into the room together. It was very disconcerting. Some quest stuff, breakable objects. Oh yeah, cold enchanted FXs for Nightmare Dungeons, super dangerous. That's a good fix. Hell Tides. Okay. Fix an issue where crackling energy can hit other players in a Fields of Hatred town. Far out. Items and aspects. Ring of Starless Skies. Nobody uses that. Fix an issue where aspect of the Protector would trigger its barrier effect after destroying a breakable object. I never saw that. That's cool. Ring of Misfortune, incorrect stats. Ember Staff, weapon didn't apply the bonus to crocodile enemies. Okay. Any character menu interaction will reset the bonus granted by the inner column aspect. Maximum life affix on the Mark of the Conclave quest was not scaling properly. These ones are important. So, sacred items will now cap at level 60, and ancestral items will now cap at level 80. What that means is, especially if you're playing hardcore, is that if you start a new character and you have a bunch of items in your inventory that are sacred or ancestral, they're not going to go above level 60, even though you pick them up maybe at level 100. So you can give these to lower level characters now, which is great. So, I mean, you still got to get up to 60 for a sacred item if you found it above level 60, and level 80 for ancestral if you found it above level 80, but at least it's something, so. Monsters had some issues they fixed. Quests and events had a bunch of issues that were fixed. User interface and experience. See if there's anything notable here. I'm hoping that they fixed some of the memory leak issues for PC. When the amount of gold not properly displayed when trading in large gold quantities. Okay. Multiple issues with map pin functionality. Quest and whisper markers are displaying properly. I've seen some of those. Various improvements with the consistency and clarity of messaging specific tooltips. I'm curious about this because a lot of the tooltips thus far have been just straight up lying. They've just been wrong. So that'll be interesting to see what all has changed there. Fix an issue where item comparison numbers would be inaccurate if the item in question had a gem socketed that granted a stat that was also present on the base of the item. Oh, okay. Interesting. Various other fixes. And then some other stuff, like Mischief's camel made no noises. Okay, nothing that I saw on PC specific or their memory leak issues, but we'll see. Altar of Lilith unlocks are now account-wide. That's good. Map discovery is now account-wide. That's good. We'll check that when we jump into the game. Overall loot quality has been significantly improved for silent chests. Okay, so those might be worth going for now. Channel time for the leave dungeon ability has been increased from 3 to 5 seconds. Okay. We have generally reduced the tendency for many monsters to move around in combat so that melee characters don't have to chase enemies down as much. I hadn't really noticed an issue, but alright. DualSense Edge wireless controller support for PC. Renown value adjustments. Side quest renown reward values increase from 2030. Good. I've always thought that those were way too low. That's good. Dungeon up to 40. Also good. That'll help us get through the renown a lot faster, actually. That's good. It's retroactive. All right, nice. World Tier 2 as a falling bonus is added. Increase to gold. Monsters now drop 15% more items. Okay, so World Tier 2 may actually be worth playing from the very beginning. Because World Tier 2 is basically not worth playing at all. You just do all of World Tier 1 and then skip straight to World Tier 3. There was no point doing World Tier 2. Monsters are harder, but you don't get anything extra from it. A tiny bit more experience, but no drops. So now they added the drops. It's probably is worth doing, 15% is pretty good. Level scaling inside dungeons and most World Tiers has been adjusted in World Tiers 3 and 4. Monsters will begin to trail behind the player in level after a certain point. Okay. So they wanted people to feel stronger as they were leveling up. I always felt like I was like way overpowered once I hit World Tier 3 and 4 pretty quickly because my gear was so good. So even though enemies were my same level, I was ripping through them all. But I guess now it's going to be even easier because they're going to be 5 levels behind you, starting at level 55 in World Tier 3, and then same thing for level 75 in World Tier 4. So that'll make hardcore easier. I wonder if they adjusted the experience that you get from these monsters though. Previously they must not have, because previously you would gain less experience if they were below your level. So it must be the same now. Let's see. Reward experience for completing Whispers in World Tiers 3 and 4 has been significantly increased. Good. That needed to happen. There was no real point in doing them other than to get some items. Adjusted bonus experience rewards for killing monsters that are higher level than the player. So here's where the nerfs are. So previously, if they were 3 levels above you, you got 25% increase experience. Now you only get 15%. So leveling up is going to probably slow down. And then they're adjusting experience rewards for monster level offsets for higher world tiers. Okay. So the level offset, if you were level 1, for example, and you went to World Tier 4, they start killing level 100 monsters, you would get level 100 monster XP plus 25%, times 25%. Now, it'll just be 10 levels above you instead of 100. So that's where they're trying to stop boosting. Helltide monsters are now 3 levels higher than you instead of 2. So Helltides are going to be more dangerous. Torture Gift of Mysteries chest has gone up in cost to 250 cinders instead of 175. And then everything drops cinders that you can interact with in Helltide Zone. But that's a pretty big nerf. If they had adjusted what you get out of here, like increased the drop rates significantly more for these chests, then I can see them kind of increasing the danger and the risk. But now the risk is up, but the reward is the same. So I don't know if I agree with that. Let's see. Balance updates. Let's look at the rogue here. Advanced rapid fire duration increased from 3 to 5 seconds, so that's a buff. Caltrops cast speed increased by 15%. That's a nerf. Oh no, cast speed increased. So it's faster. So that's good. Don't really use Caltrops so much. Enhanced cold imbue lucky hit chance increase from 30 to 40%. That's a buff. Enhanced smoke grenade damage bonus increase from 15 to 20%. Don't really use either of these, to be honest. Cold imbues can be kind of cool. There's some good builds with that, but I haven't really used them much. Let's see, methodical dash maximum cooldown reduction increased from 3 to 4 seconds. So that's a bit of a nerf. Cooldowns, again, I think are kind of getting nerfed across the board here. So that means we'll have to kind of keep an eye on that if we're dashing around a bunch and we've upgraded to methodical. Enhanced dark shrouds chance not to be consumed increase from 10 to 14%. That's a good buff. That'll help with our survivability. Supreme Death Trap cooldown reduction increase from 10 to 12 seconds. Supreme Death Trap cooldown reduction increased from 10 to 12 seconds. So we can cast Death Trap more. That'll be good. Nice. I love Death Trap. More Death Trap. Okay, buff. pretty big buff, actually. 2 seconds. Wow. Passive, victimized lucky hit chance, increase from 30 to 35%. Another buff. Siphoning strikes now also requires lucky hit chance of 75%. So you have to critically strike close enemies and also get a lucky hit. So that's probably going to adjust our items a little bit in our build. We'll have to get... Seems odd that they buff something that most people use. Yeah, that is a little strange. I wonder if a lot of people weren't using that. Maybe just the builds I'm looking at were using those kind of things a lot. But I think a lot of the rogue builds don't really use Death Trap very much. I love Death Trap personally, but a lot of buffs here for rogue, which is kind of crazy because the rogue is already extremely strong. Rugged damage reduction against damage over time effects increased from 5, 10, 15 to 6, 12, 18. Cool. More survivability, another buff. Mending obscurity healing per second while stealthed increased from 369 to 4812. I don't use that, but now I might. That sounds kind of cool. Not a big fan of like healing over time skills because I can just pop a potion and get to max health like immediately, and there are potions everywhere. So I don't, it seems redundant to me to have a healing over time effect on a skill. Aftermath energy restored increases from 25, 50, 75 to 30, 60, 90. That's another buff. I'm pretty sure I use Aftermath in a couple of my builds. That'll be good. Free energy. Paragon Combat Glyphs bonus now affects all damage instead of just core skills. That is a buff that every class in the game, I think, got. So that's good. Eldritch Bounty, legendary node duration increase from 6 to 9 seconds. I mean, this Paragon, this alone may be such a big buff that the clear speeds may go way up. It might offset the experience nerf. We'll see. Specialization preparations ultimate cooldown reduction increase from 4 to 5 seconds. Awesome. That's good. Another buff. Legendary aspects. Aspect of volatile shadows. Damage increased. Okay. That's a pretty good one. A lot of people use that one. I see alchemist aspect chill is increased from 15 to 25. I don't use that one in my builds right now. It's kind of niche. Shadow Slicer aspect damage increase from 25 to 35 to 80 to 100. Not exactly. I don't. Shadow Slicer aspect. I think that's the one where when you dash, there's a shade that follows with you. So again, one that's not used very often. But if you're going with a high movement speed, like leveling Twisting Blades build deck, that'd be pretty good. That'd be great. Toxic Alchemist damage increased. Yep, I can see that being useful in builds, but again, it looks like a lot of the ones they're buffing aren't being used all that often. Vengeful aspect, lucky hit chance increase from 30 to 50 to 40 to 60. I love Vengeful. I mean, that's pretty sweet. Aspect of imitated imbuement duration increase from 5 to 9 seconds. Okay. That's a good one. You now have a 9-second window to cast an imbuement after you cast your ultimate to double the damage of your shadow or your simulacrum or your clone, shadow clone. Aspect of stolen vigor increased. Okay. Aspect of lethal dusk. Life of kill duration increased. I don't recall what that one does exactly. Noxious ice, bonus up. Aspect of elusive menace, dodge chance increased. Elusive menace, yeah. I mean, all buffs to all these aspects. Some of these may find their way into my builds now. We'll see. To be honest, with all the changes to the skills for the rogue, they're almost all buffs for stuff that I either already use or wouldn't really use anyway. So for the aspect buffs and increases, I don't see any of these being like build changing really. It'll be interesting to play through season 1 on a new character though, because I may find some of these things early and be able to kind of incorporate them into what I'm doing at the time, but not necessarily going to like make builds around them. Sky Hunter's energy gain increase from 15 to 25 to 20 to 30. Don't use that. Grasp of Shadow lucky hit chance increased from 20 to 30 to 24 to 34. I don't really use Grasp of Shadow either. We'll see how that goes. All right, let's see. General stuff. Aspects. So Disobedience finally got nerfed. Down from 25 to 50% to 15% to 30%. So we're going to have to keep that in mind. That's a pretty sizable nerf there for the armor that we're going to be getting from that. Retribution. Bonus damage to stun reduced from 20-40 to 10 to 20. Exploiter's aspect. Bonus damage to unstoppable reduced. Starlight aspect. Resource restore increase. So nobody uses this. They buffed it. Everybody uses these. They nerfed them. This one's the big one. The Butcher's Cleaver slow. Nobody really uses that. Drop rate adjustment increase. Bonus to drop ancestral and sacred items in Nightmare Dungeons from 5% to 10%. Cool. Nightmare Dungeons are still the meta. It seems still worth doing. Remove the 20% chance to drop an extra equipment from an elite monster outside of Nightmare Dungeons and Helltide. So nerfing Overworld and Helltide and normal dungeons. A little bit less items there. Increased chance to drop an extra equipment item from elite monsters in Nightmare Dungeons by 10%. Oh, and Helltides. Okay. Interesting. Nightmare Dungeons now at 50% chance to drop a second legendary item upon completion, and you get 3 rare items upon completion, up from 1. So, do Nightmare Dungeons. Copy. Monsters increase monster HP scaling from 85 to 100%. Bonus per extra player in a party. Okay, so co-op will make things a little harder for sure. 85 already, you could already tell the difference when you were in a party. Adjusted the scaling of the Greed Shrine. Still probably not going to use that. World bosses now drop potions. Cool. No longer a limit of how many materials you can refine and higher materials at once. Thank God. Item affixes. Many affixes are too efficient and are outshining alternatives. No kidding. We're looking to refine the outliers, improve the number of meaningful choices on competitive slots, and increase overall flexibility of items. We know these changes will reduce the total amount of possible power a character can possess, so we'll be monitoring how these changes affect players' ability to conquer expected milestones throughout the season. Oh, okay. Control impaired duration reduction can now appear on pants. So we're adding potential rolls to pants there, which is going to make it more difficult. Damn. Barrier generation can now appear for all classes. Will also begin dropping later in the game. Okay, that's interesting. There's some pretty cool synergies you can set up with for different classes and different builds for barrier. Like Trinity and a couple other aspects that Rogue has specifically to boost damage. Like close quarters combat. Could be some good close quarters builds using that. That's interesting. Lucky hit chance while you have a barrier can now appear for all classes. Okay. Interesting. We definitely know we're going to need to get lucky hit up on the Rogue now because we have to get lucky hits for our siphoning strikes. Mastery skill damage newly added can appear on Sorc weapons. Scales identically to a core skill damage. Interesting. I thought Sorcs were doing plenty of damage. They just couldn't stay alive. They just die so fast. Resistance to all elements can now appear on shields. Core stat bonus on weapons has been overperforming, so we're pulling back on this bonus. Dexterity, 50% stronger when on weapons, 25% stronger when on weapons. So they nerfed everybody's core stat on weapons. Interesting. Not sure how I'm going to adjust my build for that. Cooldown reduction affixes often felt mandatory due to their raw power. We imagine cooldown reduction will remain a highly desirable stat, but the penalty for not prioritizing it won't be as harsh. But it will, though. Like, the reason that cooldown reduction affixes felt mandatory and were super important is because the cooldowns were so long. And for builds to become viable, especially with like Sork, for example, you must have cooldown reduction. So now they're just going to remove cooldown reduction from your affixes, but they increase the cooldown reduction on all the other skills out there. So you have longer, now you have to sit and fucking wait. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I don't think this is going to affect the rogue that much because I have other ways to reduce cooldown with skills, and I never was going after cooldown reduction on my items. Yeah, cooldown is really good when you have cooldown is required when you're using skills that have timers associated with them. Especially really long timers, like the Sork, for example, has got some pretty long timers. So now you're basically going to be waiting for your cooldowns to finish before you go into your next fight. Or you'll be mid-fight. You'll do a ton of damage with your like powerful skills that have cooldowns associated, and then you're going to sit there and do nothing until your cooldowns are off, and you can proc them again, and then you'll get your damage. So you're going to get these wild swings in DPS. That gameplay feels bad. It's not fun to play that way. Let's see. We're seeing critical strike damage and vulnerable damage often viewed as a hard requirement for a build success in Diablo 4. We believe this is a step towards allowing more builds to flourish and will continue to make changes in support of this goal. Crit strike damage reduced 17%. Lightning crit strike damage reduced 17%. Crit strike damage with bone, earth, imbued, and werewolf skills reduced 70%. Vulnerable damage reduced by 40%. So, like, here's my question. You take cooldown reduction affixes and you nerf them. You take crit strike damage and you nerf it. You take vulnerable damage and you nerf it. What replaces that? Like, when I'm looking at affixes on my items and I see vulnerable damage in there and I go, oh man, that got nerfed 40%. What will I put instead? I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. The way I look at this, I'm going to be doing 40% less damage from vulnerable. I'm going to be doing 17% less damage. So I'm going to be doing effectively 57% less damage. And I've got to wait longer for my cooldowns to be done. So I'm doing even less damage there. We're going to have to really see how this feels when we're playing. But right now, I don't see an obvious replacement for these stats. They're still going to be required. They're still the core means of doing DPS in Diablo 4. Crit strike damage, crit strike chance, and vulnerable damage is how you do DPS in the game because of the way they have it set up. Let's see. Disparities in inherent affixes can rule some weapons out before the rest of their stats are even ruled. These are receiving harsher reductions than their normal affix counterparts to increase weapon flexibility. Crit strike damage inherent on swords reduced by 50%. Vulnerable damage inherent on crossbows reduced by 65%. So, I mean, with this nerf here, with 65% reduction in vulnerable damage on crossbows, does that make me want to use bows more? Only if I'm on a range build for the rogue. If I'm using rapid fire or barrage or penetrating shot, then maybe. But a lot of the other skills on rogue kind of require you to be in there close amongst all the enemies. And keeping your distance. I mean, I don't know. We'll mess around with that. It's a different play style for sure. We'll see. This change I can kind of agree with because I can see the immediate replacement for it. For swords, I can throw daggers on there, sure. Damage to close. May end up in a DPS net 0 for us. We'll see. We'll see. We're gonna have to play with this around with this. Swords and crossbows. That's the kind of core like weapons for a twisting blades or a flurry rogue. Damage bonus to crowd controlled enemies was overperforming. Crowd control specific type affixes. So damage to crowd controlled enemies is down to 30%. Damage to frozen enemies increased by 20%. So these are affixes that no one uses though, because the other ones have been way too important. I can see some builds using this then instead of maybe crit strike damage or vulnerable damage, but we'll see. I'm not sure that's gonna, I don't think it'll equal out. We've seen that skillful players are frequently slaughtering monsters many levels above their own. We want to support this, but the current situation is beyond what we believe is correct for the long-term health of the game. To chase this goal, we're shifting power to many offensive affixes and defensive affixes. From defensive affixes. We are shifting power to many offensive affixes from defensive ones. We know this will make our endgame content more deadly, particularly for those chasing our pinnacle boss. An encounter not meant for the faint of heart. Overcoming the pinnacle boss will take every ounce of grit, blah, blah, blah. So they think that the pinnacle boss is still too easy, which is insane. Like, the number of people that have beat that is so few. Physical damage increased by 25%. Fire damage increased 25%. Cold damage increased 25%. Lightning damage 25%. Poison damage. Shadow damage. Non-physical damage. So these, I think, must be they're designed for replacements for crit strike damage and vulnerable damage. So to me, it sounds like they are buffing your base damage and nerfing your crit strike damage and vulnerable damage. So I don't know, without doing a lot of math, how this is going to affect overall DPS. It might not be that bad. Maybe they have found a replacement. Maybe instead of vulnerable damage, I'm going to go with damage with two-handed slashing weapons, or rather dual-wielding weapons as a rogue. Because these are just increases in damage across the board. Kind of goes counter to what they're saying, though. Skillful players are frequently slaughtering monsters many levels above their own. So we're going to give you a buff in damage. Buff in base damage, I guess. And a huge nerf in crit damage. Damage reduction. So they're buffing damage, but they are decreasing survivability. So what they're saying is that you're too survivable in this game. So we're going to decrease the amount of damage you can reduce. We're going to decrease your survivability. So this is going to make hardcore a lot more challenging. Total armor reduced by 30%. Attack speed for 4 seconds after a dodging attack increase. Damage for 4 seconds after dodging attack increase. Total armor and werebear form reduced. Damage reduction from close reduced. Damage reduction from distant reduced. Like, oh, like how are we gonna stay alive? All the enemies are 5 levels lower than you now, though. So this patch is so all over the place. It's really weird. It's a huge, huge. I mean, massive changes. Huge variance here. We're going to have to go play this because running away, I mean, that's not fun. I don't want to run away from enemies when I'm playing Diablo. I want them to run away from me. And then when they try to, I want to chain him back in and kill him. You know, like I can't tell if if these are all good or bad, to be quite honest. I can't tell. At first glance, some of these things seem pretty bad because I don't see the obvious replacement. But now that we're getting into all these buffs with these different affixes, like maybe it is the nerf for vulnerable that I wanted. I still think they need to change the way vulnerable damage works at its core But maybe we'll be focusing less on crit damage and vulnerable damage, which is very non-traditional for ARPGs, and focusing more on just boosting base damage a lot. We're going to have to jump into the game and see kind of how this plays, because it's very interesting. I'll say that. There are like buffs, tons of buffs, but tons of nerfs. I can't tell how it's going to change the balance of the game. Like how the monsters are like lower level than you and everything. Like it's very interesting. I mean, lower level, assuming you can get to level 55, right? We have to get there first, but we'll have to kind of see how that goes. So with that, I think we'll kind of jump into the game here. And let's test it out. Let's give it a shot. See how it feels. We will see how it feels. I might just jump in on... We might jump in on our softcore character here. Or we could continue to level up. How are you supposed to get to higher gear? Yeah. Yeah, you have to get there. Let's jump in on our hardcore character to continue our hardcore playthrough here. I might change it to World Tier 2. Since it should have increased drop rates now. We'll kind of see how this feels. Let's see. Actually, we need to log out and log in on all of our characters. As a reminder for everybody. Make sure you log in on all your characters prior to beginning Season 2 so that all of their renown transfers over. Let's see. No, if the monsters are lower levels than you, will they drop your level gear? I think they're supposed to. Yeah, I think that's the idea. Like, they wanted to make the monsters feel weaker, but you would still be getting the same experience and items that you would. Because everything's scaling now to your level -5 once you hit above level 55 or level 75. In World Tier 3 and World Tier 4, respectively. So it should feel... I think you should still be getting the same gear. Like, all the gear that drops will be your level. Unless it's a sacred item, in which case it'll max out at 60, and an ancestral will max out at 80. Let's get all of our renown done here really quick. For the Season 1 transfer. Here's our Diablo 4 music here. See, we're just logging in on all of our characters. I'm pretty sure I have like no renown on this character. I haven't played them very much at all, but... They are not... They're setting an item level cap on those items, Cosm. The stats, like the item power will continue to go up. But the item level will be capped. So you can give it to a lower level character and they can use it. Whereas right now, I'll kind of show you. So let me jump onto my Eternal character. It's got some high level items. So, like, if you can see here, Ancestral Legendary Gloves, its item power is 785 plus 25 because I've upgraded it. It requires level 72. So when I found this item when I was level 72. So the item is level 72. So if I were to put this in my stash and give it to, like, a level 50 character, they wouldn't be able to use this because the item is too high of a level. Do I have any level 80 stuff? So like, see this one here, this ancestral legendary ring requires level 83. So I found this when I was level 83. It's super good. But one of my other characters can't use it until they get to level 83. Now with the new patch, this will say level 80 as the maximum this item can be, even though the item power is going to go to be up really high, like 70 to 90. So I think that's a good thing. Okay, it's hard to tell how many of the patch notes we just read through are active right now. I think the new items are here in the game somewhere. Ah, so all of our renown now transferred over, you can see. So that's cool. We can claim all of our rewards already. So here's what we're going to start with in Season 1. You can see we got a bit of renown here in each of these areas. So nice. So all of our areas, as well as Altars of Lilith, have transferred over. That is super nice. That's so good. Okay. So we could go to Skosglen and keep getting renown here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, we can actually continue our guided playthrough, simulating as if we'd started Season 1, and this is exactly what it's going to look like now. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So let's go to Kyovashad, and I think we're going to change this to World Tier 2 and kind of see how it feels. Oh, we should have a skill point available. Oh, we already got that one. Never mind. Let's go to World Tier 2. Enemies are more challenging. Monsters drop more items. Okay, so it's there now. Perfect. Cathedral of Light. Level 50 plus. Oh yeah, because we went to World Tier 2. So let's go up here and maybe do a couple of side quests or dungeons. Just kind of get a feel for how the enemies are on the overworld. Oh, that's a new load screen. Interesting. That's cool. I like that. We'll see. I have no idea if this is a good patch or not.
The Downs is my home.
Bum, bum, bum. Side quests.
We can always use us truthfully. No, I'm not all right.
5 available points. Why do we have those extra 5 points available? Oh, because the skill points carried over? Might just spend those right now for the purposes of this playthrough. Give us a little boost in power. So let's see. Where are we in our build right now? Let's see. Where did we leave off? Do we have our exploit up yet? Yep, we got that to rank 3. Got a rank into sturdy. Let's see. Innervation. Try to get this energy cost down here. Not yet learned. Oh yeah, we have to go over here somewhere, huh? Gonna get a couple more points somewhere. Maxed out this. Got that. 1 point there. Into sturdy. Max out methodical shadow step. Got 1 point in the dash. Got subverting dark shroud. Poison trap. Enhanced poison trap. Exploit. Sturdy. Somewhere I'm missing some skill points from my build. There it is. Knew I was missing one somewhere. Alright, now we can get 3 of these. And we can get Adrenaline Rush as well. Okay. Compectus. Alright, let's go grab this Tusky Boys quest really quick. And we'll go and get us 2 levels real fast. So that we can get to level 20 and change over to Inner Sight. Alright, we'll use our little elixir there to get the bonus XP and a little bit of armor and thorns.
I got day-old bread.
And we can go and gather up some of these waypoints as well, which will actually give us a decent amount of renown. Let's go grab this one for now. Come on, horse.
I can't do that here.
Also kill some of these enemies as we go back.
Not in town.
Ooh, there's a side quest here too.
The attack on the manor has led.
Okay. Find Rosa and deliver the bloody note. That seems like an easy quest to do really fast. Again, going into Season 1, our priority right out the gate is going to be getting Renown up, really maxing it out as much as we can.
You there? Please.
But for sure getting those first 10 skill points. Okay. I like this load screen. Let's go and kill some baddies for these
Not
side
in town.
quests. Don't have a lot of legendary aspects yet, so we're gonna have to be cautious here. Seems like everything's dead. Here's one. Oh, my little mouse is like changing color when I mouse over them now. That's interesting. Somebody did some damage to us there. Ow.
I need more time.
No, the little mouse icon on the screen, it like changes red when I attack something now. I didn't think it was doing that before. Yeah, it like blinks red.
I need more time. I'm low on energy.
These guys definitely do a bit more damage. That guy might charge me if I'm not careful.
I'm not ready.
One more. One more tusk. Oh, that dude just killed that thing. What the fuck, bro? Whoa.
I need more time. Energy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pay attention for those siphoning strikes. These guys do a decent amount of damage to us. Did not get our last tusk from that guy. Curious if any of my affixes have changed. Plus 5% vulnerable damage. Oh, yeah. Yeah, these changed a lot. I think they did anyway. We'll see. They may not have changed the gear you have on. The gear on my other character looked like it was unchanged from what I was wearing. Oh, that's a lot of wolves.
I need more time.
Oh, here we go. A lot of bad guys here. That guy's charge didn't hit me too hard. Got some crushed beast bones too. That's pretty sweet. Alright, we got 2 quests to turn in there. Let's go kill some brigands.
Not in town.
We'll see. I think overall I'm still pretty excited for Season 1. I'm really curious to see how these patch notes kind of end up panning out in gameplay.
I need more time. I'm not ready yet.
We got an event over here. Interesting.
Time to do that.
I don't know if I'm seeing a huge difference in the gear items that they're dropping. This guy's level 18. Oh, they must be...
Don't have enough energy.
They must have already spawned in when I was
not
level
ready
18, perhaps. These guys can be deadly. We've learned our lesson fighting these guys. This is the guy that killed us on our first death.
The daughter of hatred demands blood.
I need more time.
That guy got wrecked by that fishing blade. That was great.
I need more time.
Yes. I love that.
I need more energy.
Seems like there's not really anyone playing right now. This shocking outlaw guy. Get out of here.
I need more time. I'm out of energy.
See that? That's what killed us last time. This little silence thing. Gotta be very careful. Very deadly. Alright, grab a couple of these items here. And looks like we got our quest done as well doing that. That's cool. We gotta conquer that area there. What level is that? 21? Okay, let's go turn in all these side quests. We got 4 we can turn in, basically. It doesn't feel crazy different to me right now. I don't feel like I'm doing more damage or less damage really right now, but we're very low level still. See how much renown we get for these. Should be 30.
My thanks, Wonder.
Yep, 30 renown. Nice.
Not in town.
Let's see, are these any good? Not really. Cold damage, poison resist, dexterity. The dexterity is nice. Dodge chance. 12 dexterity. Tomorrow we'll have to see how this feels on our Eternal Realm character.
Oh, wow.
On our softcore character, I think. 2 Veil Crystals. Very nice. We could go do some of these Tree of Whispers things. Do we have any dungeons up here in Scosglen? No, we do not. Let's go turn this quest in, and then probably safer. Yeah, that's true. Although if we lose this character
I can't do that here.
before season 1 begins, that's not the end of the world. That's okay. We've got our other main hardcore character that's got all of our renown unlocked. Let's go with, we got Adrenaline Rush. Let's go with Haste here for this one.
Not in town.
Almost level 20. We can go to Inner Sight. We're pretty much back to caught up to where we were before we unceremoniously lost our lives.
Your thrice damned wardstones didn't do much, Druid. Ah, you spoke to God. Damn bloody goat.
Bunch of side quests available down there. Well, let's go do these real quick. These little areas down here are not safe towns, by the way. They are dangerous places, as you can now see.
Time to do that.
Get out of that. Avoid the ice. This guy's cold enchanted. I did not see him there. Should have prioritized killing them first.
I'm not ready yet.
But we did it. We made it.
I'm not ready yet.
That guy was going to do a jumping attack. I saw you. That guy died.
Don't have enough energy. I'm not ready yet.
Okay, so we're going to keep on getting our renown up here in the Skazglen, while cautiously killing these enemies and hopefully getting some extra gear from them. Doesn't seem like it's that much of an increase in drop. There's that guy's jumping attack that is so deadly for us, so dangerous. It's like our cooldown reduction with Twisting Blades is still pretty good. The little region we're in is level 20 plus, so we need to be careful as well. Because we're not quite scaled up yet to these guys. Is there a loot goblin here somewhere? What the hell? I swear there's a symbol for a loot goblin on my map for a second.
We'll see how well.
Interesting. Salvage cast, +1 to all agility skills, damage reduction from distant, and then damage reduction. 2.5% as well as 5%. That's not bad. We got 1.3% damage reduction and 1.2% damage reduction on the one we have, though. The one we have is, I think, better. 2.2% damage reduction. I don't know which one's better now. We have total armor, so 26%. 25%, so we lose 1% in damage reduction for the armor. Close, distant, and then damage reduction. 1 rank of all agility skills, which are these ones here. That's kind of nice to have an additional rank there. Just a little bit more damage for both of those. I think we might go with the one we have. 2.5% damage reduction. And damage reduction from distant enemies. We just lose out on the damage reduction from close. I think it'll probably be fine with the extra skill there. Okay, let's see. What do we got to do down here? These guys are level 20. What level is this area? 19. This area is level 19 as well. Let's go grab a way shrine. I kind of am tempted to go do this. Go do this stronghold, to be honest. Let's go down here. Let's just go kill some Khazra and get this quest along the way. We are one enemy away from being level 20.
I need time to do that. I'm not ready yet.
There we go. Level 20. Let's go ahead and max out haste for us. And let's go to our specialization here. We'll change that over to inner sight. And let's do this quest. Ooh. Got a big old boss guy over here. Oh, we can upgrade our potion as well. I gotta remember to go do that in a second.
I'm not ready yet.
Hello, sir. Level 40 person. Ah, the history of Skazglen. Light reading as we move along. Or dare that enemy run away from me. Oops. Excuse me. Oh, that guy killed the boss dude. That's annoying. Looks like there's a team of them there. Watch out for the poison from these spiders. That guy's spell's kind of cool, level 26. I wonder if this level 40 and this level 26 are running together. Boosting each other up. Ugh, gross.
I need more time.
Rogues, or necromancers are weird. Poor level 40 and this level 26 are... Oh, this guy's fire enchanted. And we're vulnerable. Gotta watch out for that. Good job, Necro. You frozen. Whoop. That guy tried to kill us. Get out of there. Stay out of there, level 26 guy. You'll die.
It is done.
It is done. Okay. Let's see this side quest. Really got to get some movement speed bonuses going on my boots. Demon's Heart, nice.
I'm not ready yet.
Follow the trail in search of Phelan. Where you at, Phelan? I bet he's over here.
I need more time. I need time to do that.
Found him. Oh no. He went into my poison. Poor bastard. I do like this new load screen, but is this the only one now? You have more load screens, please? Ooh, a load screen with all of my, like, one of each of my different characters? That'd be cool. Hello, sir. Ooh, crushed beast bones. You can see Act 2 has a lot of those crushed beast bones, which we will need at level 30. This character is like the crushed beast bone character, it seems. They're just getting tons of them. It's amazing.
Stop.
Alright, you just gotta go turn this in right here, huh? I like the little blue ghosty lines that emit out of your horse when you use dash. That's kind of cool. Maybe this one is lucky. Yeah. Too bad we can't bring him into Season 1. We have to make a new character. That's okay. We got a Murmuring Cash from that. Nice. Another amulet. Rare amulet. Nice. +1 ranked of all imbuement skills. Ooh. We're not really using imbuement right now. Lucky hit chance. We know that that is a good thing now to have lucky hit chance, so we may want to prioritize lucky hit on some of these, but willpower and... That's a good amount of armor, though. We're not using flurry. We are using twisting blades, but 2.2% attack speed is nice. We'll throw those on there and see how it goes. We'll break this stuff down. Who's out on our twisting blade skill, but we'll find more of that later. Must not be afraid to swap out gear at such low levels.
I need more time.
Okay.
Well, you don't...
And we got a leather cache out of that one. And we're done with our renown for Scotland already. Let's go. Nice. So that's where we get that extra skill point. Perfect. So we're already on the way to getting all this done for World Tier 2. Realistically, we could basically just go to the dry steppes now. So now that we're done with the renown in Scotland and the Fractured Peaks, we can realistically just start trying to level up here. Oh, we got gem crafting unlocked as well. Let's go down here really quick and we'll do that, as well as get our upgrade to our potion. And then I think we'll do one dungeon and probably call it a night for that. Ooh. Kind of see how a dungeon feels with these patch notes. I think we're going to start to see the differences in this a lot more when we're at higher levels. See, is there anything I can put this in? No. We'll put this other stuff in our bank. Go and break down the stuff we have. Upgrade our potion and go find a dungeon. I feel like those portals are louder than they used to be now.
What will it be? Come back if you need work.
Got some side quests here we can do as well. It's not a bad thing to do the side quests in here because you get experience for them, basically for free, very low risk. And it'll also start to work on our renown for the following tiers, even though we're not into the World Tier 3 yet. We can do this dungeon here. It's got a Grim Favor associated with it, and we can also grab that waypoint that's right nearby. Alright, got a little bit of time left on our Armor and Thorns and XP. See, the Whispering Favors give a ton more XP now, apparently, so those will be good to do.
I need more time.
Whispering Favors. The Grim Favors, we should say. For the Tree of Whispers.
I need more time.
Hello? Enemies. Oh no, no enemies. Okay. Let's try to keep our wits about us in this dungeon. See if the butcher's here. Try to focus down the enemies that have the insight symbol above their head there. Keep buffing that up. The inner sight.
I need time to do that.
And we need to slay all these enemies. I'm pretty sure the boss for this area is a giant spider. And I'm pretty sure it's a fairly dangerous spider as well. So we're going to have to be very careful. We're level 20 now, so we're going to be keeping an eye out for any scrolls of escape that could be dropping. Which we should be able to see now. to get any of those, and we're going to be equipping it immediately.
Time to do that.
We also have a few in our chests that we could go grab. We might go back to town and grab that before we fight the boss in this dungeon. Since we had saved a couple up from our previous playthrough. As before, I like to carry 2 scrolls of escape on me just in case I use one and then jump straight back into a dungeon and I forget to go get another one. So rather than just having a single one on you, I feel like that's a little bit risky. But the rest of them, outside of those 2, I put inside of my stash, so I have them available in case I die, and I can use them on my new character, like this one. A cursed chest.
Time to do that.
Let's see, it's got some lightning affixes on it. Lightning bolt enchanted. Try to get the guy with the inner sight if we can, just to give us an unlimited energy available. Try to take these succubuses out because they are fairly dangerous. And now the boss. A little bit of damage from the succubi. We'll try to focus those down if we can. Our poison trap was put down far away from our enemy friends here. Ooh, that hurt. Except we were CC'd there for a second. We'll shadow step out of that. This ice thing here. Very annoying. World 2 doesn't feel too bad. It was a little bit tricky there, but nothing
I'm not ready yet.
cosmically out of control. Gotta watch out for corpse bows in this area as well with these skeletons around.
I need more time.
Keep our eye out. Listen for their stupid ballistas. These spider big guys kind of do an explosion too of poison we gotta watch out for. They just level up as well. I can see I've got a skill point there, so let's go ahead and throw that into our last haste point. There's a corpse bow. Thought I could hear one lurking around out there in the shadows. Ah, cold enchanted.
I need more energy.
A lot of damage there. Took a bunch of hits all kind of at the same time, I think. More crushed beast bones from us. This guy just got like super high crushed beast bones find apparently on this character. It's out of control. Let's see. Your marksman skills have up to a 10% chance to create an arrow storm. Overpower damage, basic skill damage, vulnerable damage. Only 5% vulnerable damage, so not a lot. Minus 40% probably what it was. We're going to equip that immediately because it is objectively better than anything else we found. +2 crit strike chance, attack speed, and penetrating shot. Those aren't too bad, but we're not going to use them because I think the extra armor will be better for now. Shadow damage, cold damage, +31 armor, +59 armor, damage reduction from close, +13 dexterity. Oh yes. Quite nice, quite nice. Let's see. Shadow damage, damage to distant enemies, vulnerable damage. The vulnerable damage is nice. Maybe now? Maybe it's not that nice. I think we'll equip that ring. And poison damage is better for now, so we'll go ahead and equip that one. Alright, what do we got over here? A construct. Shadow step out of that little skeleton wall ring there. I do not feel comfortable in that. Shadow step again to break out of the ice. We'll deal with this enemy. This elite here. These guys are doing a bit of damage. Little bit of damage here. Not bad. Ooh. A couple of rare items. Very nice. Got a hood. Poison imbuement, dexterity, and intelligence. It's probably better. A ton of armor increase, so we'll throw that on there. All sets, shadow set, poison damage. We lose the evade charge though. I don't think that's worth it right now. 31 to thorns, all stats, and poison damage. No, we'll keep what we have because I like having the dexterity. Just a little bit more damage. That got nerfed too though, so we'll be careful with that. That's a corpse bow. Hello, sir. Get rid of this skeletal construct if we can, and this corpse bow. Worry about there being a corpse bow that's on the far side. Oh, there's another elite over here somewhere. Ah, here he is. Make sure we've got our...
I'm not ready yet.
Dark Shroud ability up. That's a corpse bow. Take that guy out. And a frozen enemy. Man, we are fighting elites for days here. I love it. Oh, the good gear is. Alright, Dark Shroud. Here we go again. Fly in the background for any corpse bows. There's one right here. That aspect we're using is actually using the rain of arrows. You can see those arrows coming down our hours. That's kind of cool. Because our basic skill is a marksman skill, actually. A little bit extra DPS there while we have the free legendary. Love it.
I'm not ready yet.
Got one more of these things to find. It's probably up there and I missed it, but hopefully it's in front of us.
I need more time.
You can see as we're getting towards these like spider enemies. Oh my god. Bad thing with all these corpse bows here and a plague enchanted guy. Try to make sure we got a dash available to get out of this guy's explosion when he dies. There we go.
I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, these spiders with their slow abilities and like we're in such tight close quarters. It's very dangerous in here. Haha, got you in my trap, spider. Look at the positioning of this is the worst. Right in this corner with these windy things around. Real bad.
I'm not ready yet.
Oh, this guy's vampiric. I thought he was a waller. I was like, oh my god. Can you get into any more of a tight spot? Well, that's that. Let's see, what do we get? We got a crossbow that's not as good as what we have, and the rest are blue. Okay, let's go ahead and drink one more of these potions. Top us off a little bit. I have not seen any... Okay, is this a boss fight? This feels like a boss fight. Let's go ahead and go back to town really quick. We'll sell our stuff, and let's go ahead and equip a scroll of escape for this fight. Alrighty. And we got a skull here as well. We can throw in that. And we'll take a scroll of escape. Ooh, and we can put a little ember in here. Alright, so where'd that scroll go? Hello? There we go. Alright, so if we go to our emote wheel, this is empty. We have it bound to F1. And we want to take that scroll of escape and put it there. Save our changes. So now if we hit the F1 key, that'll proc immediately and we'll be safely transported back to town in case we get into a real tight spot, which we definitely might here in this fight. To my memory, this boss can be quite difficult. Ah, this is an ambition. He got frozen again. We might be dead right now. Nope, we're dead. Gotta break out of that. What's up with these icy boys? Where's all this ice coming from? Dear Lord. Get out of here, ice spiders. That was close. Ugh. Just grab this key and we'll move on. I don't care about the Greed Shrine. I have no desire to have that. We got 4 of our Dark Shroud orbs. That's fine for now. We'll go straight into the fight. Say Brood Guard. Yes, this fight is very, very difficult. No room. Too many slowing effects. All the spiders are going to come out here in a second. Getting poisoned. From all those spiders. We do have dash available to us, as well as Shadow Step, so we'll try to maintain our maneuverability as best we can here. That's a lot of poison on the ground. Gotta keep proccing our health potions as often as we can. Use our poison skill, our traps when we can. Alright, that guy is fucking off. Dash and Shadow Step back to him. Nailed it. Another heavy crossbow. Alright. Well, that guy's done. Ooh. Got some of those grim favors. All right. So, with that, did we get anything good? Crit strike chance, poison damage, damage to stunned enemies. It's not bad. Some shadow and poison resist, which is pretty much worthless. +4 to poison damage is nice. And the crit strike chance. We'll throw that on there. And we won't use these things. Plus 10% core skill damage. That might actually be good now. What we have, I think, is still a bit better. Let's go break these down. Okay, and with that, we are almost level 22. Let's take a look at the map really quick and see what we'll do on the next one. We can go turn that question. Easy. Ooh, Legion event starting in 1 minute and 22 seconds. Level 25 plus. Maybe a little bit dangerous for us right now. But you can see, and over here in the Triceps, this is a level 21 area. This level is 21. So what we'll do next time is we'll go over the Triceps and we'll grab a whole bunch of the things in here, the renown in here, boost that up to get that other skill point. Then we do perhaps some dungeons, things like that. But for now, I believe that is where we will call it for tonight. So thanks for joining us here on Twitch, and for anybody watching on YouTube, if you enjoy this content, please remember to like and subscribe to our channel. And then come and tune in on Twitch too when we're playing live. We're going to be planning on streaming all of Season 1 on our hardcore character, as well